Coming back?
Yeah, I don't know. I was just giving it to her.
All right. Wait, Chris is on a panel?
So.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, bummer. I'm going to have to watch that later.
It's on YouTube. On Buzzsprout. I've uploaded it at 2 a.m.
I think this is the best way possible. If only I could do it in the
YouTube,
really silly voice we were on podcast mics the other day. I think it's this, well, it's the Roadcasters up here.
Oh.
That would be really fun.
I'm so sorry.
We're going to have a good time.
I didn't realize I didn't make that clear.
All right.
The thumbnails on the Canva design.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, I have 220.
I like how many of our colleagues have come to support here today. How many people have just left the conference? Whether they're physically here or not. Post lunch on a Friday. We're all ready to
But we'll
go.
be on your.
There we go.
I'm gonna present the presentation.
The next vendor and make sure that they've got something.
It's lovely.
I really want one of those TVs. Who else here wants a TV? Did everybody put in for the raffle today? We're gonna win TVs today. We're all winners, even if Yeah, we're all winners.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I touched your screen thing by accident. Sorry.
It's okay.
Don't let me touch stuff.
Okay. You see, this is where the undo.
I know. Just do an undo, right?
Well,
I
it's
can
not
do it.
working, but here you go.
Thank you.
Innovation.
I will never touch that again.
Canva.
Thing about collaboration in real time.
I know.
All right.
Here,
We're good.
I'm gonna present. Hello again. Hi. Some of this is recycled information from Sharon's demonstration.
All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, we're like almost ready to rock and roll.
Give people a few more minutes, or
We'll
a
give
minute or two.
About a minute.
How's everybody doing? How was lunch? Everybody like their sandwiches? I went for the roast beef. There was no toaster. I heard a few complaints about a toaster.
All right, you guys, we want to make this sound like it's a fun thing, so let's everybody at once go, woo! All right, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3, woo! All
right. We should have
See,
videoed
they'll
that.
think
Wait,
we're going to
we
have
have
fun.
it? Yes. I forget. What's our friend in the back from CMAC? What's your name?
Rhyming today.
Am I a rhyme machine? Hi, Bella. Thank you for recording us today, Bella. We appreciate you. I have a cute little picture of us from the other morning, so I'll have to send that to you before the end of the day.
And CMAC, thanks to everybody who's here from CMAC. You guys are rock stars, by the way, so thank you. I may steal all of you. Come to Sacramento. I know, right? Not much, but
It's okay, we're not making much.
I know, right? It's a
We're all
nonprofit.
still like, what's the number?
Said we can negotiate that 25 cents. Okay.
Oh, we should be. We should go to that grant writing thing. Oh no.
Oh, this is the fun team. We're in a fun group here.
Yeah, you'll have to keep us all on track up here.
Yeah. Because we all want to win those prizes.
Yeah.
I know. I need a TV, so. Actually, I really don't need one, but I would like one. I have a really old one in my room. Old. It's not very smart.
Or fun.
Yeah, I love my living room one, but I'm like tired of falling asleep in there going. Yay! All right, you want to get started? You think? We have enough people? I think we have enough people to get started. So if you're here today, the Fun Tools platform is collaboration and basically how to use these tools to get your community engaged and, get information out there, make it fun. I mean, there's so much really cool stuff nowadays with all this, the AI, and what we're going to be probably talking about a little bit is Canva and CapCut, how it goes together, but there are so many wonderful tools. So today I know the agenda, if we want to go over to the agenda, we have the introduction, we're going to have a discussion, we're going to talk about Canva and TikTok and CapCut, which is really awesome because I actually love doing that. And then Q&A, and then we'll do a demonstration, but we're pretty fluid here, so if there's questions and things like that, feel free to ask them at any time. And so we can go to the next slide, I guess. Okay. So the three of us, I'm Laureen, I'm with Access Sacramento. I've been there for 8 years now, operations director. So I'm learning a lot too when I'm in these conferences. So this is great, just working with these young ladies I'm watching, going, wow. And even I've seen people like Allegra, she's just faster than anyone. I'm still typing one button, and then I'm going to go ahead. This is Angela. We'll start with you.
I guess from the generational divides, right? We go down, and I'm like, I'm hitting a couple of buttons, so I might not be as fast as my colleague to my left, but I'm Angela Harrer. I'm from Pasadena Media. I've been creating content for 20 plus years. Seen a lot of changes, and some of the recent stuff is really exciting. I'm still getting familiar with tools, but we're here to have fun today and learn together and make this a really approachable way. If you're not comfortable with these tools, to get a little bit more comfortable and do some interactive stuff at the end, so that'll be fun. And I got my start in broadcast news and had some film, TV, theater background before that. Studied film and television at NYU. Did the broadcast news thing for a few years, moved over to New TV on the East Coast, so I worked in Community Media Center over there for several years. Used to do a lot of programming for that, and then I moved to California in 2018 in Los Angeles, and then I discovered Pasadena Media, and I just fell in love. I was like, oh, it's like home, community media. You never kind of get the bug. Once you get the bug, you never can get away from it. So I found my home at Pasadena Media, and really happy to be working with such wonderful people there, creating content and serving the community. So, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Olivia. I'm the social media manager for Huike in Hawaii, or on the island of Kauai, and I am actually super new to the world of community media. In fact, I didn't even know Huike existed until I applied for the job, but I have been charting a whole new path with social media. It's what I went to school for, and I've been doing it for a couple of years. So I'm happy to show some insights on how to create video productions super quickly with these new tools that we now have. So.
So,
Okay.
I kind of want to go around the room at this point.
Yeah, we
right?
do. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about I guess I need my mic up. All right, who you are, basically your organization, who's comfortable with using some of these tools, and fun tools that you might be using right now that to engage your community, and then tools that you would like to learn, and then how these can help you with your community engagement. So with that said,
So you don't have to answer all of them. That's
no, you have
8
to
different
do it right
questions.
now.
We just want to feel like where the people in the room are at with some of the tools that me and Angela are going to talk about, because could probably go over the basics, but if majority of you already know the basics, then we need to get into more complex things. So whoever feels comfortable just talking about it, or what you look to gain from the presentation we have.
Well, let me ask a show of hands. Who here has used Canva? Okay, the
that's
whole
a lot
room.
of
Okay,
people.
you guys are experts. Our
That's
job's done.
a
No,
lot.
okay. And then how many of you have used TikTok with the CapCut? Okay, so less people. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, so that's right. Now pressure's on you. No. So this is cool. We're going to go through. I guess if you guys want to kind of start out, if there's anything specific anybody might want to know, but Angela can go ahead and start with the presentation. And then if you have questions while they're going through, please feel free, raise your hand.
Okay, yeah, so I guess we're skipping the whole getting to know each other.
Well, we can do
part.
that too. No, you know what? We can do that
You
too.
just took too many minutes away. Lorraine.
I know. I think I had too much caffeine today, so I'm like trying to stay awake. But yeah, actually, let's do that. So let's start with this young man over here.
I'm John. I'm from San Francisco. I'm retired, and I'm just trying to get away from Adobe package. And I'm glad that I got in here early and got some details from you. I got extra. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course. Well, it's a pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then this young lady.
My name is Trisha Allen. I'm the news and events producer with Hopi Gay, Hawaii Community Media. Olivia has actually taught me quite a bit, so I'm excited to learn more in this class.
So and then let's kind of go like this. We'll see that. So Chris, you're on the spot.
Chris Dugo, Contra Costa Television. Since we're government, we're not likely to ever use TikTok. Or CapCut. Well, I know. It may change, but at this point, don't know. So, but we are using something called Looping Back. Loopingback.ai, where you can send people everything from a survey that they can answer via voice, text, or if they want to record their own video. So we actually had some people contribute to a video that we ended up producing by having them use that as the tool to send us back video clips. So they didn't have to know much about uploading files or anything like that. We just used the web link. So.
That's
What are they called again?
looping back. So it's like
It would be an ongoing community capture tool,
Yeah.
for the people to use from their phone or their laptops. Without having to know much about even using their phone.
Does it have like a social community within it? Like, is it shareable?
They may get there, but right now it's a handful of like survey tools, interactive tools to prompt somebody. You can actually embed your own little video introduction.
Oh.
So it's meant to be very interactive, but also people record or upload their own responses or contributions. So that's the other little tool
Yeah.
we've been dabbling with it. So.
Very cool.
and then this young man here.
James with the City of Concord, some of the government access strictly as well. It's in Contra Costa County, so I know Chris here. Yeah, we use Canva a lot, but never used TikTok or CapCut. But I'm in between community relations managers right now. I'm part of the community relations department. But Jennifer, my recent boss, was really big on all the new short form videos, vertical videos, and all that. So we've been big on Instagram Reels, even if it's showcasing city programs like construction from our engineering team and things like that. So with IG Reels, it's like the thing kind of did, but yeah, I don't think we'll ever have TikTok. Or I mean, their city won't let us have TikTok.
I mean, I can see why, but yeah.
And then this young man over here behind.
Chris, and I'm operations manager at Community Media Foothills in Rodeo. We use Canva, and I know our executive director uses Canva.
Studio manager for Community Foothills. I'm doing the residents of the Canva workshops. A lot of people do. And I don't really have. We're trying to get better at like shooting 16:9 content, 10:16 content concurrent, so we can migrate up there.
Yeah.
But that's,
It is always a challenge because I have to remind myself too, and now I've kind of converted to I'm shooting vertically almost all the time because we do so much with social. Because usually when we go out, we have our specific cameras for shooting horizontal. But yeah, what do you use?
well, we've been having some luck with using like GH5s, and so we've been doing the shooting open gate, so it shoots a big old 4:3, and that's easier to kind of punch in and reframe post. Yeah, so we're kind of overshooting the heck out of it, but at the end of the day, it's still it works for having that flexibility to do the shot.
And you're finding you don't need as much like behind the scenes kind of footage for your usage across social?
We do, we're not doing it.
Yeah, because that is like the big thing is having your dedicated person to social that's just focused on that, and I think every big company has that. But. I know, interns too. Yeah.
Thirds of the routine staff, so we're working on that.
That's great. We're learning stuff too, so that's why we appreciate what you guys, and we want to know what you
Yeah.
guys know, because you never know what we can integrate here. So, and then go ahead.
I'm just Siri Jenkins-Glenn. I'm the Director of Community Engagement at Pasadena Media. And we use all of that thanks to these lovely people and some others on our team. Yeah, we try to get into everything because we also teach everything. But I personally do not use any AI, and I'm grateful that I don't have to because they do. I get to hear about it, I get to learn about it, but I personally want to, you know, keep a boundary and a barrier for myself. So I'm excited to hear more.
I'm Sharon from Pasadena Media as well. I was on the AI panel. I use all of those. Very familiar with those tools. I also use Premiere and DaVinci, but I use all of them daily.
What's your favorite?
Canva for accessibility, DaVinci for color correcting, reading, Premiere for how I usually templatize my videos.
All right, and then we'll head on over here.
My name is Smiley. I'm an ACM community board member. I used to use Canva on my phone, and then I moved over to I don't know if you're a days ago, because I wanted to buy it once and got a subscription.
Okay.
But I was talking with analysts before lunch, and I think I need to learn more about Canva. I've been kind of staying away from TikTok because I feel like it's very addicting. I feel like you get like grabs a hold of you, and you can't, like, you try to get out of it, the video, and maybe I'm not using it right because.
No. Nope. Yep.
Is that something you want to learn more about today,
like,
TikTok?
I feel like that's where content is going.
Yeah.
I mean, I do community events and stuff and shows, and everyone's like TikTok, TikTok. And if I could be, I'd still be on MySpace, man.
I was so mad.
Yeah, so it's like, I know I gotta stay fresh, so.
Yeah. Can I just say something really quick? TikTok has some of the best organic growth, and you'll never find it on Instagram. That's probably why they focus on them so hard, because no other platform has the organic growth algorithm that TikTok has. So that's why it is kind of addicting. And you know, there's a lot of things if we're going to look at it politically, but it is great if you do want to start capturing those people really quickly and really well, votes that you wouldn't get on Instagram because it takes forever and a day to like build that up. Same thing with Facebook, but yeah, that's why TikTok is nice to have. And although you can connect your Instagram, usually there's no rollover. You're better off like selling them something on TikTok. If you're like, whatever your end goal is, right? You have to be using these social media platforms for a purpose. So it's either to convert watchers or whatever. But TikTok's real good at like getting people to donate, getting people to sign up for something that doesn't require them to go to another social media platform because you're not rewarded for that. So,
yes. Yeah, again, that TikTok too is my favorite. I love TikTok. So it's, you know, I have famous cats now, but that's okay. No. So yeah, but it's a cool tool, and it's nice because it's worldwide, you know, and it's not just focused on you actually get to see other people's lives outside of America, so it's really nice. So, and then we're gonna go to this young man here.
I'm Anson from SFL TV. We use Canva. We're not allowed to use TikTok. We use Canva, CapCut. I work a lot with the PIOs, the city PIOs. So they shoot most of them iPhone and Comcast 3. So we do kind of like a monthly training with them to help them improve on their shooting skills, editing skills. But also when we make our own videos, we usually will promote it with using reels or using shorts. So we do make it into a vertical. So we use that just to promote it and then have a full-length video on YouTube and Facebook. One thing we're kind of starting to explore, since we're testing, is next door, because we know the older demographics are more next door. And they engage much more on Nextdoor. They're not good or bad, but they engage much more.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of Nextdoor as like another.
Yeah.
Really.
It's the neighbors or the
We have
neighbors.
such a different kind of community where we have like so many different demographics throughout. But you're saying.
If we're highlighting a business, then people love to see that in their business and don't uplift that as well. And or like we're trying to uplift a city initiative, and that's the way to get that information to them as well. Because we know that demographic love Nextdoor.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good point, because if your community centers, like I know where we are, I'm signed up for that communities next door, and then my own by my home. But it's nice to see, because then these are things that at your community center you can go, oh, maybe we can focus on this, or bring in some shows like this, or so it does help a lot. And when you said that, I just realized like, oh yeah, that's right.
Siri, I'm getting some ideas.
I know.
We are?
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
So maybe we can start converting some of the content over to push it out on the platform. That's
We do
interesting.
some things, but yes, we're not using it like that. Can I just ask, why are you not allowed to use TikTok?
It's just for our city government, under the
Security.
Yeah.
Okay.
Government security folks do not like TikTok.
Yeah, and most of our departments have gone off Twitter and started using the
Blue Sky. Oh, okay.
Really? Okay.
No, it's not really moving or.
Yeah, but I'm not really sure, because TikTok is actually pretty secure. So I'm, I mean, what are they going to steal? My cat pictures? I don't know. But so, it's okay. But we're going to go on with you now.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jason. I'm with Pacific Coast TV, Pacifica, California. A lot of my team members are already using Canva, which is great because it's good for collaboration. I myself am I come from the Photoshop, so I'd like to get more up to speed with that so that I can collaborate better with them. I'm not really in use with TikTok. I just started using CapCut, so just trying to get sponge.
What would you say your community mostly engages with?
You mean
Across your platforms that you're using right now.
that they're using? Well, basically they're using Canva to create infographics, pretty much.
And next in line, so we're going to go across now.
My name is Alex. I'm from Below Community Media on the island of Oahu. I will say one of our useful tools that we've been implementing into our, just call it our creative media class. It's the first thing that most of our new members go into when they interact with us for the first time. And what we teach them is CapCut, and it's been a very useful tool in bridging the gap between our younger creators and some of our people like me who avoid social media, play games.
Yeah, for sure.
Who come from like Resolve and found like Premiere. All the tools are very, very similar to what I'm used to in Final Cut, and it's just easy to communicate with youth as young as like 9 years old. People come in with their kids and they take a class together, and then, I mean, I'm the teacher, right? But the kids end up teaching their parents and then everybody else because they can't teach as fast as they can. It's very intuitive, and it's just been a very useful tool in expressing my ideas to them so that they understand it.
And that's nice to get the younger folks involved more, because they are our future and our teachers, basically. And they can pick up this technology so fast, it's incredible. And I'm watching one of our high school students that has come in, and he can like run the whole studio by himself now, just by after going through the class. And I'm like, okay. So, but very sharp generation, love it. And
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Hi, my name is George, the media coordinator for Creative TV Canada today. We use Canva, and we don't use CapCut, but we use Adobe Rush, like the equivalent for the Adobe suite, like the Microsoft, that also put it on our computer as well. At Creative TV, we have like 2 long-form documentary making courses, and we use those 2 tools in order to help participants make documentaries just like like a steep learning curve in order to make media. We want to make it as easy, intuitive possible. Just trying to be more easy and just the whole community just to make more media done.
So I heard you say it was Adobe Rush?
Yeah, Adobe Rush.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought I heard. All right, and the next, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Braulio, Programming Manager from CMAC. We use Canva for our thumbnails. We use CapCut for more of social media reels, but we primarily use DaVinci Resolve to edit because we usually, make longer content, but we don't use TikTok. I'm pretty sure, I think it's just our team doesn't have any interest in TikTok. Right now, we have a good hold on Facebook. That's where primarily our mass engagement is coming from. What else I don't want to say?
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's okay.
It's perfect. Yeah.
Perfect. And then our next in line?
Hi everyone, my name is Maricela Hernandez. I am the Outreach and Development Coordinator at CMAC, and some of the tools that we use, definitely Canva. I use it all the time to make everything from our one-pager flyers to our social media posts. So that is very helpful because I did come from the Photoshop world as well, and I just realized how time-consuming Photoshop was. So Canva was really like a nice lifesaver, and being able to flex the creativity, use the templates and then make them my own. So they're not like, oh, that's a Canva template. So it won't be outed like that. We do use TikTok. We use Hootsuite to go through all our major social media accounts. So we use TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We do post on Threads as well, just to make sure that we're covering all our bases. But our top three is going to be four is Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And we noticed that we have different audiences per platform. So on the TikTok side, it's more young people that are looking, and again, it's just going to be like quick reels, fun reels, things like that. And then on the Facebook side, we see that we have more established community, more of our older generation is on there. It's just easier to get it, be in groups, be in events and stuff like that, and look through that. And then Instagram is a nice mix of people. So definitely work with that, and we love to, try to reach all our communities. I think, I think one of the things we have problems with is just having engagement with our social media posts. Just getting people to like, follow, or comment and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, we have the same challenge. I'm pretty much creating the community from scratch. Huike didn't really have a huge social presence before I took over. But collaborations with other community-based organizations that have large social followings have been really key. They're all of my top posts. People love to collaborate. I think I get scared to ask to collaborate because I don't know how they feel about their feed or if they feel about my video, but most people are super eager to collaborate, and then that just widens our reach, and we've gotten a lot of connections through those collabs, not just depending on the algorithm to try to get my content out there. So, yeah.
So we're going to go on to the next side, which I think are the two young ladies there. Yeah, right over there.
I'm affiliated with the series team, the student publication at Fresno Pacific University, and I mostly use Canva as a personal use. I'm not a big social media user, big shocker. Yeah, I don't own TikTok or CapCut or Instagram, but I'm quickly realizing that you can't really get away from that, so I'm here to learn.
Hi, my name is I'm part of the series team as well at our university. I'm in charge of camera work and video editing. So I use programs like Premiere Pro and Final Cut TikTok, Canva, and CapCut. I use those for like my personal use, but I think it'd be a great way to engage students into our newspaper. Hi, my name is Gabriela Gutierrez. I am editor-in-chief of our student publication team this year. So we're at Fresno Pacific University, a teeny tiny little school over on Chestnut. You probably drive by it without realizing it. But we're looking to revive our student, we're calling it student media now. It initially started off as a newspaper, and now we're kind of taking that in different directions, and we're looking to learn more by coming at this conference, especially like in terms of like what we can do with social media, what can we do with both print, what can we do with video, what can we do with podcasting, things like that, because we want to be able to include all the different voices on our campus and make this as efficient but also as interesting as possible. And I think one of those things is like figuring out how we create a social media presence and how we grow that. Because obviously it's not an instant thing. Like I personally only ever use Instagram, and that's hard enough on its own, and that's just personal use. I can't imagine how difficult it is with just trying to grow our little newspaper / student media. So I'm kind of looking to see how, as editor-in-chief, I can go ahead and teach those around me, and also like eventually hand this off, hopefully, to another person who is willing to take on the role of being a social media manager.
Oh, thank you. So I think, I know we had some people come in right here, the young lady with, right here. Yep. Yes, the young lady. I think everybody's younger than me here.
So, I'm Bobby Ferguson. I'm the Chief Production Officer at Passing Media. So you probably have heard kind of what Passing Media is using. Personally, for my work, I use Canva quite a bit for my open slates. I've used Canva a little bit for AI, but I'm definitely still in the Photoshop, After Effects world a bit. But I'm getting really excited for these easier tools to use, just how quickly you can do them. So I don't do a lot of social media for the team because we have such an incredible team doing it already. But I'll upload things to YouTube, and I want to do more things that catch people's attention, and I'll put the things up on Facebook and Instagram sometimes, and I'm trying to follow their lead on trying to get better engagement and emojis and hashtags.
Those were always fun.
I learned that too from Sharon when she came in. I was like, oh yeah, I could do a better job with all of
So
I'm also starting to use Midjourney just a little bit for some fun stuff, but it's come up with some crazy things, so I have to use it for more than just fun.
All right, so in the essence of time right now, I apologize if we didn't get to all of you. So we want to go ahead and start the presentation, and if you guys are still here and we don't bore you to death, we'd love to learn more about whoever's left over, because we're going to try to make this fun and interactive.
By
so.
the end, we'll all try to make a video together in groups, so that'll be great. But,
all right, so I'm going to let the ladies take it away.
Thank you, Laureen. So once again, I'm Angela from Pasadena Media, and I work with our great team. Sharon is on the team with me. Actually, I work with all of these ladies here. Bobby, I'm a split role, so I get to work on both sides. I work on the government side and I work on the community engagement side, which is really interesting to kind of dip between the two. So I really sympathize with some of you that are just government, and you're like, I'm kind of limited to what I can do because we have the PIOs, we have that to be concerned about, and they have their own social team. But then we get to play in the community engagement side in more of like the staff and with community partners outside of our organization. So I produce something called the PMNs, which is Pasadena Media News Story. They're not so much big news stories as they are tools that we use to engage with our community, specifically with other organizations, so partnering, which I'm sure a lot of you already do in some capacity, maybe with events and things like that. But I find that promoting their events under Jasiri's advisement and her contacts that she's made throughout the community, we're doing this on a daily basis now, where we're always promoting other events throughout the community and working with other organizations to help promote their messages as well. So we call them news, they're strictly fact-based, and then Sharon comes in and helps write some of the captions for them, produces the thumbnails. She's really helped with some of the design components. I come from the more premiere world. I've been making video content for 20 years, so Canva, TikTok, CapCut, that's all relatively new to me as well. And it's been fun kind of converting over and dipping in both worlds simultaneously, because I see the constraints. That's why I'm really interested in, some of you mentioned, like being concerned about the horizontal and the vertical simultaneously. That is something I'm consistently concerned about, because I can't do both simultaneously. So sometimes I'll grab a quick clip of something right before we're shooting an event for the city, but you know, that's the best I can do. I can't be focused on that during the production. It's like there's too much other stuff going on. So, but anyway, back to the news stories. That's my main use of Canva, as well as presentations. So I built this presentation today using Canva, and I was having a lot of fun even till this morning working with some of the brand kit tools, where I'm like, wow, it's doing all of this stuff automatically that I could just click a button, and it's shuffling through different color schemes, all working within our brand. So I'll kind of go into that, but.
And the fun thing is that we started off with a template, and it looks nothing like the template now that we like have collaborated and worked on it for so long.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the fun thing with Canva. Like you start off with fragments of something and then use your own inspiration to make it your own, right?
Yeah, so true. And like I was just amazed at this little Canva logo. I'm like, wow, it already has this element already nicely animated. I didn't have to do anything. I just pulled the element out from their library and made it look nice, and you know, things that would take me an hour before keyframing or adding in some sort of effect in After Effects now is just so simple. And so that is the advantage of using Canva. I know most of you already are using it, but for those that are a little intimidated with it, or maybe just haven't fully converted over yet, I highly encourage it, because I found there's really no limit to the usage for it. I started with mostly presentations because I would teach classes, and we had these old materials, the old handouts that were really outdated, and I'm like, how do I need something quick. What am I gonna do? And I had to build like class presentations in a day. And so I grabbed templates from Canva. I'm actually gonna show you really quick. I'm gonna go in, you'll see some of the designs. So for those of you who don't have an account yet, I highly recommend you get one. If you're a nonprofit, you can get the pro account for free. I used the free account before joining Pasadena Media. And it does have more limitations, so it's not quite as easy and intuitive to use, but it's still really good. But if I show you the back end here, the interface, you'll be able to appreciate like certain uses. Like we're gonna work on this later together, a little template that we're gonna try to customize and build out for today. But I made an Audio Essentials presentation, a little writing workshop flyer that we could send out on social media. You know, I'm not calling myself a designer here, but this really helped. This is pretty basic, something that had to be done really quickly, but just shows you the different kind of uses. Let me show you some other types of projects. I'll go through a quick presentation design. Who wants to see? Do we want Audio Essentials? Yeah, sure, why not? I teach this monthly. And our old instructor just did not have these materials already built. He had some great paper materials, so I just took his information and kind of built all of these different slides, and it looks pretty sleek, right? I was like, oh, okay, you know, the kids seem to be pretty impressed with just, I think Bobby, my boss, she really liked the pickup patterns, the animated pickup patterns here. I'm like, yeah, that's pretty fun. I'm glad I didn't have to build that all myself. That's really cool. Right? It's like it looks sleek, it looks professional, it kind of helps give your brand, like your company, that added, you know, level of expertise, or that, yeah, impression that we're all really professional. We're not just big kids at heart.
And to chime in too, this is a lot of like presentations or like flyers, but I use it for social media all the time. In fact, my team is like devout Canva users for like title cards and animations and putting stuff into like different news packages. So there is a lot of features on Canva, and you can get all of your brand kit or your colors or your fonts all in one place, and a ton of stock imagery, which is super helpful and I didn't think there would be a lot of Hawaii, but there is. So I'm sure that expands like the reach for any organization who's just trying to create stuff, because I don't have a drone and I don't have the time to do that.
We're just talking about getting a drone. We're really excited about that. There's so many people on our team that actually operate them already, so we're excited that there's so many people that will soon probably have certification and licenses. Yeah. This is a design that my wonderful coworker Sharon made for our news stories. So this is the thumbnail, as you were just saying. Thumbnails are really great to create in this platform. They're just so intuitive. So Sharon might be able to talk about this a little bit, but I'll just cursory glance over here. You probably grabbed this image from the elements. You probably typed in what you wanted, maybe say theater. I don't know. Maybe, oh, oops. And then you probably grabbed something from around here and edited it, right? Similar to this. Maybe it had a background on it. And if so, I know you love to take the background remover off.
That is a key premium feature that I think a lot of people use, is the background remover.
Yeah, so
which is like in school, I had to like take like 10 minutes to like brush it out. But hey, like let's just make Canva do it for me for 30 seconds or like 5 seconds.
Yeah. And then we can go into, I don't know, different components. There's so many things you can do with Canva. I'm curious what some people really want to learn today, but
one thing that I think is really awesome is the copy and resize.
Ooh,
so
yeah.
When we're talking about putting it into different formats,
yes,
that's really cool because
right here.
Sharon has to do all of that for all of the social, but it's easy enough to click it, it'll put it in it, and then you just edit it from there. All the elements show up on the new one. You don't lose the old one unless you choose to, and it's an easy way to just do it quickly.
Yeah.
Yep.
The brand kit. We can't, we'll be remiss.
Certain colors for your logo, certain voice, certain icons, graphics. Everyone on your team who has this account can use it and add to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the great thing about this platform is it makes collaboration super easy. Go for it. Yeah.
What under the brand kit? What things do you use? Because I know I've used like the icons, I believe, and I put stock photos on there and our logos, obviously. But like I don't know like how to phrase the brand voice or like I haven't worked with that voice part. So.
Oh, the voice part, like in terms of
like brand voice,
like the palette.
Oh, the palette. Well, it's actually just taking the palette from all of that. So,
as far as like text goes, Canva may not be able to help with that entirely. Is like storing it into like the brand kit necessarily. It's more design focused. I can't tell you in like a very quick, concise way to create a brand voice, but I do use generative AI to help make sure that our social media posts all sound the same, are all, and like, yeah, there's a whole lot to it, but yes.
Yeah, like a style guide.
Yeah.
Are you talking more style guide or more voice? Like,
it was just like
what
the
I'm looking
voice.
at.
I
Okay.
don't use it. I use like literally everything else like on there. I do love that the whole branding, and I just put additional colors to be a little neutral. But I love that, and just like okay, I just need to change the colors.
Yep. I was very fascinated even with it this morning, where I'm like cycling through the different shuffle options. I'm like, yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah. And then have to apply to all, and I'm like, yes.
Oh yes, yeah, because this was the original template that I built this from, and you can see it really doesn't, the thing that we're working with today really doesn't look like that. It has a completely different style guide, so, or brand kit. So I'll go back to our presentation, but you can just see, like, there's a lot of different uses. You can, yeah, like you said, resize Jasiri. Resize option is great. It doesn't work all the time for every design. You will have to like reshape things, but actually, Sharon's already pre-built some resized elements for Instagram for us, so yeah. Let me go back into the design and our project. Oh, is this it? No, sorry. Here we are. I will present again. But yeah, so Canva. We love our Canva. Let me get back to this. All right. It is mostly a design tool though, so I don't miss the days of Photoshop personally and keying everything out or matting everything out. But here are some really great features with it. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with, but the pre-made templates are your #1 thing. You get to just like pick something and then really customize it to your uses, whether that's for business cards, presentations, posters. Somebody mentioned like film posters was something they wanted to make. This would be really great for that. You have your drag and drop editor, which is awesome. So you could just take elements, drag it right into your design, and it is super intuitive. AI powered design suggestions. So yeah, you saw me suggest some things. It'll try to pop up whatever you need. They even have the generator, like image generator. I don't use that. Sharon's also dissuaded me like ethically from maybe using that because we're all creators here and we can create our own stuff. But if you're in a pinch and you really need to use it, then it's there for you. And then the media asset library, your brand kit, background remover we covered. Real-time collaboration, I mean that is like the #1 thing because it's made it so much easier to use with all of your collaborators in real time on either your devices or your desktop. So if you're in a pinch in the field and you realize there was a mistake on something, you can just simply like edit it, repost it really quick, instead of having to go back home and like freak out about it. So it's kind of been a game changer. You can post directly from Canva, although I've not personally done that yet, so I'm not going to take you through that process, but it is something that it's capable of doing now. So it really is just a one-stop shop if you want it to be. And you can drag in your elements from your phone, so you can add like your own uploads from even this conference, which we'll do at the end of the day today. And then some advanced, the magic resize. So yeah, you can resize any of your designs to different formats. And yeah, oh, we didn't go through the editor yet, the video editor, but we will. And I'm going to show you, oh, it has printing capabilities. I forgot about that. We've not used that yet, but you can send it to print from Canva.
Speaking of print, the program that you all have was made in Canva by my boss. So if you like it, that is what Canva is capable of. And if you really get good at Canva, I've made whole logos in Canva, which is kind of gnarly because usually you use Illustrator or Photoshop to create vector graphics. But I didn't want to go through that. I needed it fast, and I've created logos for Huike's different shows that we produce in-house. So yeah, when you get really good with it, the more you learn.
Bobby, the one thing I'll say is that I had we provide pro services to people who want our help with editing or really anything production-wise, and I've been using a Google Doc for the last, I don't know how many years. So ugly, I kind of hated it. It was just a rate card. I'm like, here you go. And we just had some downtime. I said, Angela, hey, you want to could you maybe design a pro services brochure? And I'm like, oh, it'll take a couple of weeks or something. I think she had it wrapped to me the next day, if not the same day. And it looks really beautiful. And what's nice is that it's tied into our other elements, our social media assets, or just our general colors and brand. It looks beautiful. And now anything else, we're making a new postcard, we're doing all these things, everything's looking consistent, it's tying it all together, and it's so quick, and I know most of it's been Canva.
Yeah, that in particular, I used a template, and I just changed it using our elements, and yeah, it made the process really, really simple. Sorry, I forget your name.
No, I think I'm sold. I think I'm sold.
Yeah.
But I also don't like a strict like monopoly. So what's the competitor that I should also be looking at, or that maybe is also just as good?
To Canva's dominated this for I know. It's replaced Photoshop and Illustrator to a large degree, but
Should not make you feel weird about that.
Well, I don't really get that.
Yeah, free.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, you get a free version with your
But
nonprofit
it's
stuff.
free until they don't want it to be free.
That's true too. You gotta watch out and not get too dependent. Yeah, which is why it's still important. You're never going to replace the need to have style. I mean, style is inherent within all of us and creativity. So that's something you still get to utilize. This is just a tool to help you really enhance that in an efficient way and make it more accessible for those that you're teaching coming into the field as educators, because they're not going to have all the skills that we've built over many, many years and having all that experience. So it's just like kind of the pathway in. But yeah, I agree. It's bad to be that dependent on one tool. Go for it, in the back.
I guess I just had a question. When it comes to the educational standpoint, so do any of you at your centers, how do you approach how to teach Canva? Because it's got so many options.
There's so many.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like, is there a common thread with how you approach it for, say, a beginner standpoint for our members that are coming in?
We don't teach specific Canva classes.
Neither does ours.
Yeah, I mean,
well, I can probably answer.
could.
Yeah. So something like that, when it's something that is so broad, you kind of want to start to focus on the basics, teaching a basics, and then going to your intermediate, and then an advanced level. So that way you're not taking the whole element, but you're breaking it into smaller pieces for your members or for whoever you're teaching.
We have a pre-visualization class that Sharon teaches where she gets into some of this, and I'm sure you do a pretty good job of using Canva during the class itself. Is that right?
So I teach a social media essentials class. I do teach Canva briefly because there's so much you can get into it, but I go straight into the AI features and apps because it's just so accessible and easy to use, especially in the interfaces of like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere. It's just too intimidating. That is like key to like remove a background or expand a picture and things like that. So there's a lot you can get into it. Canva has its own tutorials, but I do go for like the AI features just because it's easier to and faster to create content or edit it.
Did that help answer your question? Wonderful. Thank you. Visualization? Oh, pre-visualization. So it's a class specifically for like storyboarding. Correct me if I'm wrong, Sharon, but storyboarding or pitch decks, things that would tell your story visually without the video or a script. Yeah, kind of almost like a zine. I know somebody mentioned here at the conference that they're working on zines. I think it's the news crew in the back. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I know you do. I'm excited.
I'm so mad about it.
Yeah.
What is it?
No text wrapping. They haven't figured that one out yet.
No text wrapping, you said?
Yeah.
interesting.
If you want to wrap around a picture, you have to do it manually. And I'm annoyed by it because I do a lot of print.
She feels very passionately about this issue. Actually written to them.
I'm not going to stay on this slide very long, but you see the different uses, videos, animations. It does have some great animation features.
Amazing.
So like, sorry.
They're amazing. I love their animation tools because I try to use it inside of Premiere and then I get frustrated and then I close my laptop and then I stop trying to animate. But it's literally like one click, and they just introduced a new feature in which they'll try to animate the entire page with a particular style, so corporate or a scrapbook situation. Canva can help do it automatically and make it accessible to people who may not really know how to animate.
I wish I could toggle quickly between the two and then show, but just keep going because I know we're running low on time. All right, so getting started. I don't think we need to linger on this too long. Most of you are already started, but you just go to the Canva, choose your design, you start, log in, and choose your design, select a template, and things to ask yourself, how to get your organization's brand fonts, logos in. It's a simple drag and drop, so you can just upload. There's also an upload feature, just similar to importing into Premiere. What kind of assets do I have that I can utilize in order to create better designs? I mean, that's whatever use it is. So if it's a picture that you have, picture element you want to bring in and then manipulate, you can do all of that in this, and video as well. What do I want to share with my organization following this conference that Canva can do? Yeah, if there's a message you want from this conference, we're gonna get ready to do some demonstrations soon after Olivia's presentation, and then yeah, something to think about. You have a question? Yes.
I do. One of the other, hi, I'm Jonathan from High Five Access Media in Avon, Colorado. I'm the Government Access Coordinator, so I'm here on behalf of my colleague who cannot be here at the conference, so I'm just going to take notes and soak in kind of what different people are doing in different organizations. that I can take back. One of the other sessions we had was on ADA compliance that
Mm.
third-party people are going to have to do with design stuff, and as a nonprofit that contracts with the government, our stuff is going to be subject to that. So I'm wondering if Canva has
I think it does.
like sort of filters or checklists or some kind of something where it can tell you yes or no whether or not something's.
It has. It does have an accessible.
You can check for contrast, text, things like that.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think it's built within the menu. I'm trying to remember
It's
where.
an automatic feature,
There is.
so you create
Okay.
a product and then they could do a verification, this meets certain tier of ADA.
Is it during the export of it or in
No, I'm
the?
asking, I don't know.
Oh, okay. I have not personally used the ADA compliance feature yet, but I think it's built within, and if anybody has the answers.
It definitely does exist, though.
It does exist. It's
there
here
are-
somewhere, and I wonder if I can like quickly.
I wouldn't be able to quickly find it.
This much further in design, not everyone has design background, and
Yeah.
so they might not know the sort of elemental, design rules and
It's
protocols and best practices that, natural designers or people who do this a lot have. So that's why I was curious if that feature will tell you yes or no, or give you guidelines, or maybe red flag.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a specific ADA like section, but if you go to file, go to accessibility, click show view and caption, or like check design capability. It has those three options for you to check the type of accessibility that your file has or doesn't have.
So it'll tell you like acceptable colors. and-
Yeah, I'll tell you like, oh, on this page, this text is like not going to be as visible to others. Maybe you want to change it, I'll tell you that.
113 issues.
Darn. Shucks.
So
Yeah.
these
It's the alt text, that's why you want.
Yeah. Also, probably some of the color. I got kind of fun. I had a lot of fun with the brand kit earlier, so the colors probably isn't.
Yeah, and I know this is more that something we're dealing with is if any of you were in the other conference where they had the attorney talking about the accessibility and the closed captioning, it is starting to come forward. So these are things that we do need to learn. And that's something that maybe, if you email us, we can kind of do some research and get that back out to you.
Oh, here's the accessibility. It built in these. So it's actually taking you don't even hear my voiceover, but it's taking the voiceover and actually doing something. It's actually transcribing it on the fly.
Oh.
Yes, I'm back.
So I saw that, Canva also has the app features that incorporates a bunch of different applications that you could use within it. Which ones are the ones that you guys highly use or recommend?
The features?
I've used the mock-up thingy a couple of times. The one where you can take your design and put it on a phone or a computer because it just looks cool. Image Upscaler is using AI to create lower resolution photos. In fact, it's actually used on this slideshow because I applied it like an hour ago on top of one of our headshots. But as far as like third-party stuff goes, I mostly just use their effects for like blur, duotone, just stuff that would take me a longer time, but just to kind of make things more easier to read and stuff like that. So they do have a lot of features in there. The QR code one is important.
Which I did do.
So we did do that. We did do that this morning.
We did do that this morning. We're guilty. I've never used the QR code in here. Is it? Okay. All right.
Can you guys say that again about the QR code?
So there's these applications that are built in, and you can create a QR code in Canva, like.
You enter the URL of the thing you want to link to.
And the QR code is just.
Is it koike.org?
Yeah.
Are you able to save that into your brand kit?
My recommendation would be just to create like your own design with a QR code if you're planning on using it a lot, and then just exporting it and putting it into the brand kit. That's what I would do. I know it was really fast, but just making a blank design, put the QR code on top of it, and then add it to your brand kit, which you would just upload like any other media that you would want to use.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've updated the code, that's pretty cool.
Thank you, Allegra. She really likes
They're
QR
very
codes.
handy. I feel like we're talking about using QR codes everywhere now, like all throughout our facility, because it does seem to be just the fastest way to get a bunch of information out. So in terms of engagement, I highly recommend people people use that. Okay.
We're going to keep moving in the essence of time, so
Yes.
we'll go ahead.
All right, real quick, I'll just show this. I think I accidentally put the QR code. Damn it! Ah! That's where it landed. I wondered what happened to it. Whoopsie! I didn't go with the bracket, Angela, damn it. No, but this is something that I mentioned earlier. I work on the PMNs, the news stories. So components of that is made in Canva, but not all of it. So the background, the moving background, the animation up at the top is this open is from another platform. I believe Sharon made it using Motion Array. Okay, and then we made this kind of moving background component, and then I used text from Adobe Premiere and the animated like other elements sometimes from that. So yeah, you can see it's like a bit of a hybrid. And the same with this great example of her work from a reel she made going to New York. You can see how it looks like some of it's templatized, but she's also done a great job of like incorporating different elements, like the video, or she used some fun techniques for social content.
So Canva is really only primarily used as where you assembled everything?
You can assemble it there or just use design components. I wouldn't use it for my main assembly. I use Premiere.
Yeah, so
I still like
more
Premiere.
of like a creating like different portions of a video that might take like a longer amount of time that are like either like she
look
said,
at this
template sized.
This template. This is like something that I would have made in After Effects a few years ago that would have taken like a week, you know,
Yeah.
animating all that text and everything, and yeah, having that cool like paper effect background, but that was a template in Canva. She still had to animate and keyframe this little bird that I'd love at the beginning that flies across and keys out, but it goes to the next one.
And you can export it to the right frame rate.
Yeah.
All that, so.
Yeah, there's exporting capabilities from Canva, so I think there are some limitations. It's not perfect platform, so I found that for anything I needed a PNG for in video, you couldn't do, so it can't be keyable unless you have a green screen. So if you can like key out a color and make it transparent, but you can't have a fully transparent like elements of a video that you export out as say like you would in After Effects. So there are some limitations to how you can export and what I think, you know, different file types that you can use. But they have PNG, JPEG. I don't think they do Targas, but yeah, that answered that. Okay, cool. So Canva cautions, don't blindly accept templates. We've already covered that. Everything can look Canva-fied. If you have the skills, try to make it look totally original. Some of us are more limited than others, but that's just a good rule of thumb. And it's not a final answer to all of your design needs. I still use, like I said, Premiere for a lot of the assembly and some design components, some of the keyframing and such. And then aspect ratios, what is your final product? Where is it gonna live? How are you gonna need to resize that? You can do that in Canva, but you might wanna consider like a different platform if maybe, you know, Premiere's if you just need a horizontal and it's something simple you can do in Premiere, it might still be better to use Premiere, but if you need a lot of design components, then Canva's a great tool. Yeah, I think we'll move over to Olivia here.
Yay! So I noticed a lot of people didn't raise their hand when it came to CapCut, but CapCut for some people can be really black sheep-like because it can feel stripped down and be really simplified. So it does have a lot of benefits, but I think it would be better if I just showed it.
Yeah, do you want me to unplug?
Oh, okay, wait. Talking about what works for like my community. Oh.
Yeah, I know it's confusing because we're collaborating in real time
collaborating
back here, but only one of us is projecting out.
Yep.
So.
So talking about how I engage my community using CapCut, I say a lot around the office, imitate then innovate. CapCut has a lot of templates and also some trend tracking that you can use to imitate. And then I try to take it into my own creative spin and put my own Hoike spin on it. Because if I just keep using templates and stuff, people will not enjoy it and people will feel like it's really disingenuous and there's not a lot of effort into it. So here is some things that I've made in CapCut. In fact, it was all this week. So this is talking about us traveling here and a quick montage at CMAC. So CapCut, I did this all on my phone too. So it's all about speed. The conference is happening now, and I want my social media to reflect that. So these are all like 10-second long clips from my phone and from my camera that I use. So yeah, that's kind of that short form, very quick content in a nutshell made in CapCut. And then we're gonna go ahead. So I don't only do short form content that's vertical though. And we have a wonderful team who does in-house productions with the government or with the fire department, which is the same thing. But they put it onto broadcast, so in a 16:9 aspect ratio, and it comes to me, and it's up to me to turn it into vertical video. So that is kind of like a weird way to take a horizontal video into a vertical video that's pretty, has shown to be pretty engaging. In fact, that reel got like 1.5 thousand views on top of it. So yay. But on the right too, there's a quick, like, we were trying to like celebrate the holidays, and it's just happened so quickly. But I used, I heard someone mention OpenGate before, so I'm an OpenGate person too. I love it. It's basically allowing it to be able to crop easier, but yeah, so a lot of my job is transforming that long form content to promote Hoike's mission and get it to a completely different audience on top of TikTok compared to the people who are watching us on TV or even on YouTube.
Can you explain what OpenGate is?
So OpenGate is traditionally, a traditional camera will shoot in a 16:9 format in horizontal, but when you take pictures with your camera, you're shooting in a 4:3 aspect ratio. And so OpenGate is basically that, you know, the black lines that you see in 16:9, they'll be filled in. So it adds more headspace and a little bit more error room, you know, if you're shooting a full production, to be able to crop into that rectangular format.
Is that a plug-in in CapCut?
So it's a camera capability. But even, you know, my coworkers don't shoot in OpenGate, so it's really just trying to be flexible and, you know, putting one camera angle over the other or making it easy for people to see. But CapCut isn't just for vertical video. It is also used for our weekly news show that I edited last night. So there is video stabilization, vocal isolation, and the one interesting part about CapCut is that it doesn't use your computer's power necessarily to kind of render these corrections. It is using the internet, so that's kind of one of the cons, that you need to have a steady internet connection to be able to use these tools and to be able to export, which can be kind of disastrous if you don't prepare for it. But if you're able to work around it, it can be a really powerful tool compared to having to, you know, open up Final Cut or Premiere. So that's my next slide. So CapCut's benefits, I was already talking about the templates, just like Canva. Great inspiration. It has a great mobile app, as I was saying, and the one main feature that I use all the time is auto captioning, which basically takes the audio, and there are a lot of Hawaiian names in what we announced in our news show and stuff like that, and somehow, some way, the AI gets it correct almost like 75% of the time. I have to like go through it just in case, but it impressively. So I guess that's more of a shout out to my team for their pronunciation and enunciation, but it is really good and it makes it really fast. I think where I'm at, I can edit a reel in like 30 minutes, but you know, like taking a long form video, but it makes it really easy. Like my coworker and I was working with our intern who had never seen CapCut before and only edited like with iMovie, and she like made a reel like by the end of the day that I posted on social media and did great. So yeah. So there are some drawbacks. The templates can sometimes be really hard to work with or inflexible with your branding. There are some like text templates that you can't even change like the font of. It's pretty much just like you can change the text. And like I said, it's dependent on a Wi-Fi connection, so it can be really hard to work with, remotely, but it does work really well on my phone with my mobile data, so nothing like that. But really, it's just like no service at all would really slow you down. And their noise isolation and stabilize features can leave a lot to be desired because, I love my Premiere Warp Stabilizer and my Final Cut Pro voice isolation, but it's like 90% there. But for extremely like bad scenarios where I need to correct, I would definitely go into yes.
You said it requires or it's dependent on internet speed, right? Is that upload or download speed?
I think it's more focused on the upload because it's trying to upload your data, and then because I have had like a lot of timeouts, especially when trying to voice isolate a long video. Like even like the 5-minute segment we did yesterday, there was a lot of like car noise and stuff. So in fact, I did have to just kind of like wait with the hotel Wi-Fi. So yeah, I hope that, yeah. And yes.
For the auto caption feature, is there a way you can go in and actually correct an error, or do you have to?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. So it'll list the entire caption list when you automatically generate the captions. And that's usually what I do to scrub through. And I usually don't like to expose people, so I take out the ums and ohs just because I don't want like the 3 ums that they like nervously had to be reflected in text. And yes.
Just to follow up on what you guys are talking about, I just did the transcript and I did the captioning, and I saw I made nothing but errors. I said, okay, I want to start over again. I couldn't find a batch way of deleting captions. And ultimately, I had to delete each one on a 45-minute video.
Is that on CapCut?
It was on CapCut. It could have been on the desktop version, but
yeah, I just drag it over and I delete it.
Let me do that.
Oh man. So yes, there are some challenges for sure. Yeah, but I actually use the desktop version all the time. I kind of just like was using, for sure.
It was. It was all right if you have a 5-minute video, but this was like a big long form one, and I had to keep the video, and I decided to just delete it.
Oh man, that sounds frustrating. But last but not least, CapCut doesn't feature a lot of the collaboration tools others may offer. Like we were just talking about Canva, everyone being able to jump into design, everyone being able to edit text. That's not on CapCut. Thankfully, a lot of my productions have been just by myself, so it's pretty self-contained. But there is like cloud features that you can upload projects to and share them amongst your team. But as far as simultaneous collaboration, that is not really what CapCut is made for, and it doesn't exist to eliminate Premiere or Final Cut Pro. It's more of like a more specialized tool for socials and for quick, diverse content really easily.
And does it cost anything?
It does cost things, especially the features that are locked behind. You can definitely tell they know like what is the most popular, like captioning, or even like resizing sometimes. But I think it's $10 a month. That's how much I have it for, or Huike does. And I feel like I can add up to 6 different team members on top. So divided 6 ways, that's not that bad.
Do you use Premiere? Do you have a Premiere license as well?
I have a personal Premiere, but we use mostly Final Cut Pro. Okay. That's shared amongst us. And we are going to try to demo this, are we?
Yeah, did you want to plug into your phone, or do you want to do it through this?
I think we can just do the Canva one.
Yeah, we have a little press for time. We've got about 15 minutes, so who wants to make a quick little something?
Using Canva.
Using Canva. Do we want to get into groups of like 3 or 4, and then whoever's most Canva ready can lead each group, and we'll go around and try to